In the early 1960s, America was changing, but martial arts was not ready for that change. Styles were rigid. Rules were sacred. Lineage mattered more than effectiveness. And into that world walked a young man who didn't ask for permission. Bruce Lee wasn't famous yet. He wasn't a movie star. He was just a Chinese immigrant with an uncomfortable belief. Most martial arts were lying to themselves. He didn't believe in perfect forms. He didn't believe in tradition for tradition's sake. And worst of all, he didn't believe knowledge should be hidden. Bruce Lee taught anyone who wanted to learn. That alone made him dangerous. At the time, many Chinese martial arts communities believed teaching non-Chinese students was a betrayal. Techniques were guarded like family secrets. Breaking that rule wasn't just disrespectful, it was seen as an attack on identity. Warnings came quietly at first. Stop teaching outsiders. Slow down. Follow the rules. Bruce Lee ignored them. As his reputation grew, so did the pressure. People began talking, not fans, masters, elders, people with influence. Bruce Lee was accused of watering down Kung Fu, of disrespecting centuries of tradition, of turning sacred knowledge into something commercial and uncontrolled. But Bruce Lee didn't argue, he did something worse. He said, "If your art doesn't work in a real fight, it isn't art." That sentence alone created enemies. Eventually, the situation reached a breaking point. According to multiple accounts from people close to Bruce Lee, a confrontation was arranged. Not public, not official, no audience, no records, a private fight. The terms were simple. If Bruce Lee lost, he would stop teaching non-Chinese students. If he won, he would be left alone. This was not a tournament. There were no judges, no time limits, no agreed rules. Just a room, two men, and reputations on the line. The identity of the opponent has never been fully confirmed. Some say he was a respected traditional Kung Fu practitioner sent on behalf of the community. Others claim he represented something larger, an unspoken authority. What matters is not who he was. What matters is what happened. The fight was not elegant. It wasn't cinematic. It wasn't what martial arts movies would later show. It was chaotic. Bruce Lee attacked immediately. No bow. No testing distance. No formal exchange. He closed the gap, drove forward, and refused to disengage. The opponent attempted traditional techniques, stances, strikes, movements meant to demonstrate control. They failed. Bruce Lee chased him relentlessly around the room. The fight ended with Bruce Lee overpowering his opponent decisively. Bruce Lee won, and yet something strange happened. Instead of celebrating, Bruce Lee was angry. Witnesses later said he was furious, not at the other fighter but at himself. The fight had taken too long. He had used too much energy. He hadn't finished it fast enough. To Bruce Lee, that was unacceptable. That moment shattered something inside him. He realized that even though he won, traditional training, including parts of his own background, had slowed him down. Forms had hesitations, styles had limits, and real combat didn't care about lineage. That fight changed everything. Bruce Lee began dismantling martial arts from the inside. He questioned every movement, every stance, every technique. If it didn't work under pressure, it was removed. This process eventually became Jeet Kune Do, not a style, but a rejection of styles. But here's the part rarely discussed. Why wasn't this fight documented? Bruce Lee later became famous. He had influence, he had interviews, he had global attention. He could have told this story in detail. He didn't. No footage exists, no photos, no official written account from Bruce Lee himself, only fragments from others, and those fragments don't always match. Some details change, some names disappear, some witnesses later deny knowing anything at all. It's almost as if the fight was quietly pushed out of existence. Why? One explanation is uncomfortable. If that fight became public knowledge, it would have exposed a truth many martial arts institutions weren't ready to accept. That effectiveness mattered more than tradition. And many revered techniques failed under real pressure. Entire systems would have been questioned. Schools would lose authority, masters would lose mystique. Another explanation is darker. Bruce Lee wasn't just challenging martial arts. He was challenging control. He refused hierarchy. He rejected blind loyalty. He believed individuals should think for themselves. That mindset doesn't threaten just traditions, it threatens systems. After the fight, Bruce Lee changed physically and mentally. He trained obsessively, not to look good, not for movies, but to remove every weakness. He experimented with extreme conditioning. Heavy lifting mixed with speed drills, isometric training, unconventional stretching, diet experiments, dehydration, friends worried, doctors warned him. Bruce Lee didn't stop. He wasn't chasing strength anymore, he was chasing efficiency. Hollywood noticed his talent but didn't know how to handle him. He was offered roles that reinforced stereotypes. He rejected them. He demanded respect, control, and authenticity. That made him difficult. Opportunities disappeared, projects stalled, doors quietly closed. Bruce Lee pushed harder. When he finally broke into global stardom, the image people saw was polished, confident, powerful. But beneath that image was a man shaped by one hidden moment, a fight that proved the world wasn't ready for the truth he had discovered. Even in interviews when Bruce Lee spoke about combat, he kept things vague. He talked philosophy, concepts, ideas. He avoided specifics. It's as if he understood that some truths, once exposed, cannot be controlled. Then, suddenly, Bruce Lee was gone, 32 years old. Official explanations exist, medical terms, clinical language. But questions remain. Some believe the extreme physical stress he placed on himself after that fight contributed to his death. Others believe the enemies he made by refusing to conform never disappeared. No proof exists for darker theories, but silence exists, and silence can be loud. The fight that changed Bruce Lee was never meant to be remembered, not because it wasn't important, but because it was too important. It proved that truth doesn't need tradition to survive. It proved that effectiveness exposes illusion, and it proved that once you see reality clearly, you can never return to comfort. Bruce Lee didn't become a legend because he won that fight. He became a legend because that fight destroyed his illusions and forced him to rebuild everything from scratch. Some battles make history, others are a race to protect it. And sometimes, the most powerful fight in a legend's life is the one you were never supposed to know about.